I don't care if you're on the left or if you're on the right or if you're in the middle. I just think it's important to think about the information that they're feeding us. The Supreme Court. Once again, the Supreme Court. We live in the United States. We have three branches of government. The Supreme Court is supposed to be an impartial group of people. That was the reason for its formation, and that was part of the founding fathers' reason for three branches, to avoid one branch having too much power and there being a checks and balances. There's no checks and balances on the Supreme Court anymore. Now that the Supreme Court has been completely politicized, and this is not an opinion that it's been politicized, the fact is, as the decisions are coming down in 2022, that it's obvious that it's been politicized. So why do we need a Supreme Court? So what are we all going to do as citizens to either make sure that the Supreme Court goes back to being unbiased and apolitical? What can we put in place for that? Do we abolish the Supreme Court because that's impossible? I don't care if you're a Republican, a Democrat, in the middle, white, black, pink, purple, blah, 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 blah. We're all human beings. And part of the reason that we love and live in America is because there's a sense of freedom and that we're not bogged down with demagoguery and fascism and someone in complete control. And we all have to come together to figure out some way to resolve this issue, because it's starting with Roe v. Wade, and is it going to go to the U.S. v. Windsor? Clarence Thomas specifically said, in his opinion, he thinks that there are many other cases that should be revisited, and they all have to do with due process and our individual rights and freedoms. I don't have the answers. I just want us to all start thinking about what doesn't work and how to make it work for all of us. We, the people.
Why people think the Supreme Court has too much power?
I don't know. To me, to say the Supreme Court has too much power makes no sense. It's not. The only reason that people are postulating that the Supreme Court has too much power is because the court is not impartial. The Supreme Court has the power of the judiciary, the power it was given by the forefathers, by the founders of the Constitution, to have a separate branch of government, to be a checks and balances. It doesn't have too much power. It's just that it's no longer a checks and balance on anything because it's completely politicized, so it's unable to do its job.
Do you think once these rulings are decided that they shouldn't come back to it? That's their decision, they shouldn't revisit?
That's the whole point of precedence, right? When we come, first of all, I just want to say it's really hard to get a case to the Supreme Court to begin with. There are so many rules of the court that lay people, common people, don't even know about, like whether you have standing to go to court, who has the right to bring an action, what issue. Even the Supreme Court has the right to say we don't even want to hear this. They can actually pick and choose what they decide to hear, what issues they will get involved in.
Do you think that with the checks and balances, how you say there's none, do you think it's on all three parts or just on one part specifically?
If you can't get something through the legislature, right? Okay, let's just simply take the issue of gerrymandering. Gerrymandering is occurring all over the country in various states where the party in power is redesigning the lines of the district so that their voting bloc wins and has the power of authority. When you gerrymander, you're intentionally disenfranchising voters, right? We know that. The Supreme Court had the choice to decide whether they would hear or entertain issues about gerrymandering. They decided they would not. Why is that? Maybe we need to really look at the court's rationale to figure out why they would not address this topic. I mean, we had the Voting Rights Act of 1965. How is it that the Supreme Court decided that the Voting Rights Act was no longer necessary? It's like, really? Says who? Based on what? Like, maybe that's what people are talking about when they say the Supreme Court has too much power and authority, but that's not how it used to be. It's just that it's biased. And it was supposed to be a nonpartisan, unbiased group of people. Scholars, not people, scholars. I don't even know if you can call, listen, those on the Supreme Court are still scholars. I don't know how we've ended up in this snafu. But what I know is that the country is so divided. There's so much hate, and so much of it is about this Donald Trump being able to really hone and use the Hitler playbook of long ago. I mean, I think people don't know how to distinguish propaganda from fact. And I think that technology makes it more difficult to do that. So how are we all as individuals, as the common man, going to get factual information? That's the point of journalism. You know, journalism is a complete major in college because, I mean, it's a whole body of education that is specifically designed to unearth the truth. So when people say that journalists lean left and lean right, I don't know where that came from, but I know that the academic discipline was designed to unearth facts, to be the watchdogs of society, so that there could be no, as a watchdog of society, and to be a checks and balances on democratic processes, to catch corruption, crime, all these things that it takes a village to uncover. And I'm concerned. I'm concerned about all of us. These are just my thoughts. Like, what are you thinking about?